Hey. So what I learned about management and communication is that communication is a very mindful process, and there's a lot of things to consider, like your audience, your setting, your tone, the importance of the information that you need to parlay. Your nonverbal communication is really important as well, and being an active listener and being attentive. I think communication is a lot more involved than just talking to somebody. So in terms of management and delegation, I've learned that it is important to be very clear about your expectations, especially your time frame, especially if you're asking somebody to do something for you, which is the definition of delegation. They say to ask your employee to summarize back what you expect of them. To me, that almost kind of sounds like how I used to treat my 5-year-old, but I could see where that would be effective as well. I also think it's really important in terms of delegation for a manager that they're able to effectively delegate. You know, a manager that doesn't delegate at all may either lack the ability to actually direct activities to their staff or just have a lack of confidence in their staff, and those are things that that they really just don't make for a sound workplace. What I learned about management and motivation is obviously extrinsic and intrinsic. Employees are viewed as being valuable and capable and being self-directed. I think when you work in an arena with adults, you kind of hope that they want to do a good job, and motivating them shouldn't be as difficult. So I kind of liked the idea of management as a facilitator. Someone who is almost kind of like a mentor who can help guide the process of their staff, and in turn that kind of makes the employees see that the manager has faith in what they're trying to do for the unit or the organization, and maybe they'll get some motivation that, or even want to further themselves in the area. So to manage an interdisciplinary team, these three things must exist kind of in concert. So since you're dealing with a team of individuals, you must really know what the manager values in these individuals. You must know what they bring to the table, and you really would be best served to know kind of what motivates them in the workplace. The other thing is dealing with an interdisciplinary team, you also have to be respectful of what every member of the team brings to the table. It's also important to kind of focus on delegating to those people with keeping in mind their strengths, their weaknesses, maybe what their passions are, and kind of what motivates them in that regard. You also, once you start delegating out, it's helpful to build trust within that team. So communicating expectations in a concise and persuasive manner with the interdisciplinary team will definitely make your outcomes a lot stronger. So I learned a lot about my own emotional intelligence after doing the batteries of tests and reading the articles that were available to us on the website. And according to all the test batteries, my emotional intelligence, I scored okay or average. I do feel as if my emotional intelligence has improved since I've gotten older, and I've been exposed to more people, more different types of people, learn that different things affect different people in different ways. So I think that that's important going forward, definitely in management, or really pretty much in anything. I've had leaders in my life that have had a great deal of emotional intelligence, and they were able to meet people where they were at, and respect their experience and personalities. I've also had leaders that were so egocentric that they didn't realize the best way to get results from others is to try to motivate them through something that's significant to that person, and not even be aware that, you know, certain things are offensive or just not right to say in the workplace. I think it requires a level of introspection that might not be comfortable to most people. It's really hard to kind of look inward on yourself, and kind of be your own critic in that regard, you know, and what you can do to improve in the way you interact with the people you're trying to lead. Most people seem to be average, I believe, in their emotional intelligence, but we seem to recall the managers that we have that are very have a very high level of emotional intelligence. We tend to remember them because we always kind of think it's amazing that they could do the things that they do and get people to do the things that they do too. So unfortunately, I kind of feel like we never remember the managers that are just kind of average at emotional intelligence. We remember the ones that are really just not good at it, because they've either made us feel small or insignificant, or, you know, we remember the ones who, you know, were great at it, and just, you know, were able to really effectively motivate every single member of their team to go forward. So one thing I've learned that I have throughout all the exercises and readings in this unit is I am a sufficient communicator, and I've also learned that I don't have to do everything, that delegation is a really big part of being effective. It also builds confidence in your team, because your team knows that they trust you. So I think that those things are really important if any organization is going to be effective. Some negatives I kind of found out about myself is I don't feel like I'm a great motivator. And I think working on my emotional intelligence would definitely help this. Maybe trying to learn how to read people a little bit better through their facial expressions and their body language, and, you know, maybe, you know, someone who's usually very talkative all of a sudden gets very quiet and doesn't want to participate much. So I think being more of a facilitator manager would definitely be the kind of manager that I would want to be. However, it requires a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience of how to lead people to the skills and information that they might actually need to get a certain project or goal met that, you know, you might be working on in your organization. So hopefully the more I get immersed in management type tasks, the easier all this will become. Thank you.